Hello, good afternoon. This is February's preparation of the movement from the active calendar. So if you have one of these and you've been ticking off your movement snacks, if you're joining in on our Facebook, or perhaps you're following also on YouTube, if you've been ticking off your daily tally of movement snacks on the calendar here, here's all of the movement snacks in January ticked off. And if you have been participating in all three of those throughout the day, at any time of day, perhaps on catch up, you would have accrued so far in the region of 24 additional hours of moving minutes. So by joining us 3 times a day, or by doing your own frequent movement snacks across the day, at the end of January, something like 24 additional hours of movement. So the aim of this calendar is, first and foremost, it's a calendar, but it's really armed with prompts and nudges and aligns itself with all of our input on the Make Movement Your Mission Facebook page. And the aim is to add additional movement minutes to your day. So this is February, and the month of February on the calendar presents to us this movement here. Rising from a chair or sit to stand, shall we say. Now, before I take you through the key prompts from this movement, deed out in the calendar, the other thing that we'll be prompting you to do, or suggesting you might want to have a go at the end of every month, is this little nudge prompt down the bottom here that says, now you've reached the end of the month, time to check how you're doing. So I'm just going to take you through again the progress checks detailed in the calendar, and you may have already seen these from the January recording that I did. It's a reminder, just so there's as much information we can give you about to had additional movement minutes to your day. So before we get on with the movement that we're going to suggest that you might want to focus on throughout the month of February, I'm going to talk you through the progress checks. And in the calendar there is a whole page on how to use this calendar, and we suggest that you start every bout of frequent movement, shall we say, with a bit of circulation boosting. So circulation boosting is detailed on the how to use this calendar page. And just to give you another reminder of that, the circulation boosting activity can be done in stand, or it can be done in sit. Here's the standing option. So we recommend, of course, that if you think you can benefit from some external support, have that close to hand. Check that your feet are hip width apart, that you're standing a little bit taller, and then just start this steady rhythmical marching action. This is essentially what the circulation boosting is. And as of when you feel ready, you can start to bring in one arm, two arm, both arms together. It's really critical, obviously, that this external support is in the right place for you. So you may prefer to have it in front. So pick your position. Here's the sit prompts for that circulation boost. You might want to sit right at the back of the chair here, take your upright posture and start the circulation boost from the top down. One arm, two arms, both arms. Or over time, if you're looking to work towards standing activities, you might want to take a hip walk forward, lift up high onto the sit bones, and then progress the circ boost to bring in your ankles and your legs, combining arms and legs together over time. So in that very first page of the calendar, those key points around circulation boosting are just bulleted out. And if you are going to get involved with adding additional movement minutes to your day, a couple of minutes of those circulation boosting activities, movements, really gets your body off and your mind off to a great start in making the most of your moving parts and supporting parts. So that's circulation boosting. Now the progress checks, of which there are 4 progress checks detailed in the calendar. And the first one here is to do with shoulder mobility and our ability to comfortably get our hand behind either head this way or behind the back this way. So for this one, if you're looking to improve or to maintain the movement and mobility you have in your shoulders and your upper back, two key ranges of motion here, and we're going to suggest that you sit down for this, sit tall into a chair, feel comfortable, head is central, shoulders are down and level, and you're active through the centre. Now you're going to do this on the left arm and on the right arm, if that's doable for you, and you're going to work your way into a comfortable position. I'm going to come closer so you can see what's going on here. The aim is to feel comfortable with moving your hand to the ear or to the top of the head or to the back of the head or down to between the shoulder blades. And can you see how that range of motion might be different for everyone? And there are 4 indicators or 4 markers, descriptors listed. If I put my glasses on, I'll be able to read them. And it's for you to feel. Hello everyone, there's a few people who have just jumped on. It's for you to feel how far can you comfortably get to. So maintaining that upright posture, remaining the head in that still position. The first marker, you'll see these listed on the calendar here. Can I touch my ear? If you can comfortably and successfully touch your ear, can I touch the back of my head? Can I touch the base of my neck? Or can I touch the top of my shoulder blade? And it's really just for you to have either a baseline from which you can record your progress. And remember, maintaining what you have is also progress. So we've given you a place here to mark that, if you'd like to write that down. Remember, you're going to do the same on the left and the same on the right, if that's doable for you. And just indicate that. So for example, for me, with my left hand, I score a 1. With my right hand, I score a 3. And you just jot that down onto the calendar. So that's the shoulder mobility. And here in the calendar, we say, can you reach that itch between your shoulder blades? And just kind of consider that the kind of top score that may or may not be a reasonable goal for you over time. So that's shoulders. When you do take these progress checks at the end of each month, that circulation boosting, that few minutes, also better prepares the shoulders in order to try and reach those parts perhaps that you don't ordinarily reach. Back of thigh is the next progress check. And as it says here in the calendar, is it getting easier for you to put on your shoes and socks and do all those activities down below the knee at foot level, shall we say? So I'm going to nip over to the chair to get into position. Before I do that, in the same way that we had descriptors for that shoulder movement, we now have 5 descriptors for its next movement. And they are, I can reach my knee, I can reach the top of my shin, I can reach the middle of my shin, I can reach my toes, or I can reach beyond my toes. So, same thing again. I'm going to whip over to the chair. So this is the progress check that's looking at the flexibility of the muscles in the back of the leg, therefore also the mobility around the hips. So here's the key points for this one. From your sit position, have a shift, have a hip walk forward so that you feel your posture is active, your buttocks are equal across both sit bones. Do a double check that you're not flexed and scrunched in the middle. And we talk a lot about this in the movement snacks. If you feel that you're kind of rolling and sitting back on your coccyx, can you shift that? And a little bit of assist through the chair might help with that. Here's the progress check. We take our leg out to a comfortably extended position. The foot is not rigid, so it's fairly relaxed, and just pay attention here at the knee. Just take your knee off the lock, just for comfort. And then using those 5 descriptors that I've just said, I'll give them again here. Getting into your starting position like so. And remember the drawbridge analogy here, this trunk is really strong, it moves as a whole, We don't want it to bend in the middle. It hinges from the hips, and with that hinge, can you get to the knee? If that's your optimum, your maximum comfortable position, that there is a right arm score of 1. If you feel keeping this strong, straight trunk position, if you feel you can creep down a little bit more to the top of the shin, that's a right hand score of 2. 3 takes you to mid shin, 4 takes you to toes, and 5 takes beyond toes. Now again, it's significant that you do these progress checks after a bit of circulation boosting, once you've been on your feet or you've been active in your chair as you ordinarily do. So don't wake up and do these first thing in the morning, shall I say, as an example. Give the body a chance to do the best it can for you. So then we repeat on the other side, same on the other side. All those posture positions, those optimum, getting into the best possible position we can. And we're looking for these positions, of course, to be consistent each time you try these progress checks. So try not to cheat by, I'm not suggesting you're cheating, by slumping in the middle. Try not to, lift and shift to get a little bit further. Just go through what I think are becoming automatic prompts for you now, and then just log down how that is on the left and the right. And you might be surprised or not that you might feel you have better motion or range of motion in one side than the other. The idea is that we just make a note of it so that you can progress or make sure that you're maintaining where you're at. So maintaining what you've got is also progress, is also a success. Rightio folks, that's shoulders and back of thigh from the calendar. Got a couple more progress checks now that are a little bit more dynamic. One focuses on balance and one focuses on strength, our ability to get up out of a chair. So both of these progress checks now, as do the others, all of these link directly into daily life, into our need to get washed, get dressed, perform personal care, do the things we enjoy doing. We need all of these things, and these progress checks just allow us perhaps to keep a track of where our body parts are, our moving parts, but also kind of writing down these types of things can really help to contribute towards motivation and keeping us on track on those days perhaps when we might not feel like it. So keeping your eye on the target is a really great motivator. Right, I'm going to take us through the chair eyes progress check first. Just watch and have a look, or you might want to join in with me. It's entirely up to you. I'm just going to go through the key points. Now for this one, it looks like this on your calendar. You will need a stopwatch. I'm going to give you a 30-second count now if you'd like to join in. If you haven't fully prepared with the circ boost and got your head around it, don't join in, just watch. Watch it back on the catch-up after. Here we go. Now, it goes without saying that for the chair eyes progress checks, always use the same chair. Now this is significant because if the chair height is different and changing, your legs and body are going to be going through different ranges of motion. So try to be consistent with these progress checks. Otherwise you'll get a false reading and that might disappoint you. Or actually it might make you look like you're making more progress than you are. So just be consistent is what I'm saying, is all I'm saying. So here's my chair. As you will know if you watch on Movement Snacks, this is the Movement Snack chair. Let me show you the options on this, folks. Now, ironically, this is also the movement from February. So when we go, once we've done this, I'll take you through these in more detail. But as a progress check, it looks like this. I need a stopwatch for 30 seconds. I need to be forward in the chair, so my back side is just past centre. Have some external support close to hand. We're only going to take this chair rise progress check if you're confident in sit to stand and stand to sit. Work at a comfortable pace. We're not looking for you to try and go as fast as you can. We're looking for you to rise and sit comfortably, as fluidly and as in control as you can. So heels back and down. I'm going to take a push up to stand, get balance if I need to, but then fairly quickly come back down to a controlled sit. So across 30 seconds, I'm going to count how many times I can stand and sit. Of course, it may be a stand. You may feel you want to get your balance. You may feel you want a little bit of extra support to come down, and you may feel that you want to rest a bit before you go again. All of that is okay. The count, the number is relative to you. If coming up to full stand isn't quite comfortable, or you're not quite feeling confident enough to do that, a way of working towards that and still writing down your progress is to take that movement as a jockey lift and have a bit of extra confidence and support with the arms. So it also might look like this. You may feel you can confidently do one, but then to continue, you might need to put in some jockey lifts. So these are the extra notes that you need to write on your calendar so that you can really log your progress and where you're at. So should we try a 30-seconder if you'd like? I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1, off we go. Here's a 30-second count. Count yours, not mine. I'm gonna stop moving so that you can focus on your own. Don't forget there's that jockey lift option if you would like. You're halfway there, that's 15 seconds gone. Keep those heels down as you come up to stand. Finish off the job. Last 5 seconds now. 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds. So you're counting how many times you can sit to stand, or that might be a jockey lift in there as well. And we've given you a place to record that there on your calendar, on your active calendar. And again, you might have to write some extra notes. Maybe you did 1 or 2 full sit to stands, and then maybe you could continue with 5 or 6 jockey lifts. So you might want to abbreviate that with a JL or a jockey lift. All right, so that's your chair rise progress check. This isn't about going as fast as you can. It's about quality control and movement. All right, which brings us to the last one, which is the 4-point balance progress check. And then I'll take you into February's calendar movement. Now, this one, if you have a look in your calendar, you'll see here 4 different positions of balance. 4 different positions of balance. Now, we talk about these foot positions all of the time during the movement snacks. And in daily life, when we're walking, mobilised, walking around our own homes and outdoors, indoors, moving in small areas, in bathrooms, in kitchens, in toilets, in sheds, in garages, our feet are constantly changing those positions. So this is a progress check to really get an idea of how you feel when your feet are in different positions. They start easier and then the challenge builds. Now, these do require you to be on your feet, so they require you to be ambulant. Do stand by some external support, and you only move on to the next position once you've achieved 10 seconds on the position prior. So there's the calendar prompts. I'm going to talk you through them now. External support could be to the side of you, or it might be in front of you, whichever you prefer. About hip height is about right. I'm going to remain in this position so you can see what's happening with my feet. And again, stopwatch, or you might want to take a count in your head of 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Only because any look at the stopwatch might again challenge your balance, or have a second person to help you out with this. First position is with feet fairly close together, so take up support, get into that position, Feet are fairly close together without touching, standing up through the trunk and the posture, loads of support through the centre here. So we've already narrowed the base of support, probably to how you ordinarily stand. So you get into position, keep your hand hovering on this support, and then ideally we're looking for you to take your fingertips off, and the count starts here. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, or look at your stopwatch. If you can sustain 10 seconds without concern, after the 10 seconds, step out, end of progress check, and on that first position, you achieve 10 seconds. Write that on the calendar. If you feel before that 10 seconds that you're starting to feel a bit wobbly, and that is usual, that's what we're looking to improve here. We want to feel the wobble and take control of it. So once you feel a wobble, take control and step out. And that's the end of the progress check. And that might happen at 1 second, 2 seconds, it might happen whenever. The key is fingertip off, count down. When you feel the wobble, take control and step out. And that is the end of that position. Until you can achieve the full 10, don't move on to the next one. But if you have achieved 10, here is the next position. Open, you can see my feet. Leg farthest from the support is going to take a half a step forward. Can you see? Now this means my heel is just across the ball of my foot, so my feet are in this position. So again, I've changed that base, I've potentially increased the balance challenge. So again, foot position, feel strong and steady before you start the count. Get all of that support from the posture, chest is open, not bending or leaning forwards. Fingertips off, start the 10-second count. If you make it to 10 seconds comfortably, then just step out, end of progress check. If during that you start to feel the wobble, that's okay, feel the wobble, this is normal, this is usual. When you feel the wobble, step out and take control. That's how we get confidence over time. So let's try to get our feet to step out from the wobble rather than hand reactions. But if you need to do both, do that. Third position is another increment of progress, shall we say. Remember, don't move on to the next position until you've achieved 10 full confidence seconds on the one before. The third position is feet one in front of the other. So this look, if I turn sideways so you can see. Take up support while you get into position. There's the step. Leave a little gap between your feet and your heels so that you're not stepping on your own feet. Key point is that the weight is across both feet. This probably means both knees are a little bit bent, a little bit unlocked. Up taller then, and then take from the support, and then you start your count again. If you achieve 10, step out, end of progress check. If you start to feel the wobble before the 10, step out, take control. That's what we do with all these foot movements. Feeling the wobble is okay, nothing wrong with that. It's taking control of it that we really want to encourage you and improve over time. And there's one final, so that's your third position. The fourth position is the single leg. Now for the single leg, have a look. This leg farthest from the support is going to prepare. So I'm just going to put a toe down behind there, and then I use that foot, I just pick up the toe, go for the single leg here, achieve the 10 seconds if that's comfortable. If not, if I feel the wobble, foot down, take control. All right, and that is your 4-point balance progress check. And here is where we log how we do those in seconds for each position. We've listed out positions 1 to 4. Those are your progress checks, and we're going to go through those every month as part of the calendar. Without further ado, of course, I need to now take you through the chair rise from the calendar, if only I can find it. So in February this month, the movement is Chair rise. So I'm going to take you through the key points of the chair rise right now. And to do this, I'm going to give you a side-on check. So chair rise, we're looking to try to crowbar as many of these into our day as comfortably as we can. If you've been sat too long or you've been inactive for too long or doing the same position for too long, how can you build additional leg strength and activity across your whole day? So maybe even make a note in your calendar of how many times you're roughly standing and sitting throughout the day. Here are the key points to make getting out of a chair easier. First thing always is activate the posture of the trunk. If this part of your body is strong and not floppy and bent in the middle, it's going to be easier to move. The next thing is, where are you in the chair? If you're way back in the chair, if you're back in a deep sofa or a soft squidgy chair, we really need to shift the body forward. So hip walk forward, take your time on this. So this movement forward in the chair will make it easier to stand over time. Backside is just past centre. The next key point is to bring the heels slightly back and down. This also will make it easier to stand over time. If you try to stand and the feet are forwards of the knees, it's going to be really difficult. It really takes a lot of momentum and changes in the body movements to stand up from this position. So take your time to bring the feet, heels back and down. High up on sit bones, you might just want to rehearse a few of these trunk movements and start to push your heels into the floor and get your buttocks working. So as the heels push down, it pushes the buttocks up. So again, we've already talked about the jockey lifts today. You might want to rehearse a few sit to stands. If you haven't quite got the strength to push all the way up, have a go for a first couple, and then you might want to put some hands to add an extra push up. On standing, just pause and take a moment, get your balance, adjust, make sure that your feet are still hip width apart. Once you've stood, it may be because now you're going to walk to go somewhere, but still have this moment, take some breaths, make sure you don't have any dizziness from that change of level, and then step on to where you're going. Or prepare for the stand to sit. And the stand to sit is where we can try to sit a little bit slower with control, lower with control, and that's how we can start to build extra strength and stamina in the legs over time. So these are the key points. Again, I'll go through them in real time. Sit tall away from the back of the chair. This will make it easier to stand. Hip walk forward, lift and shift just past centre. This will make it easier to stand. Feet step back a little bit behind the knees and heels down to the floor. This will make it easier to stand. A little bit of a hip hinge, so it's as if the sternum is driving you forwards and up. Maybe take a few rehearsals of that, push your heels into the floor, get the buttocks working. Push up to stand with a bit of pace, a bit of oomph, shall we say. Pedal the feet, get your balance always at the top end. Weight even across both feet for a slow sit, starting with sticking your hips out to look for the chair. That is February movement from the active calendar. Alrighty, for those of you that are joining on here, this isn't the movement snack. It's the February calendar recording. I'm about to end this recording and join you all back for a 4 p.m. movement snack. So that's the recording that's going to go up onto YouTube and stay here. For all of the active calendar keepers out there, that is your February movement and your end of month progress checks. I will see you back here in about 5 minutes for the 4 p.m. movement snack.